have Lieutenant David Fulderauer. We have an Officer, Larry Stallings, who have been on the police department for many, many years. And they're here to share with us their information on how we should not become victims of crimes. So first we're going to have Lieutenant Fulderauer. He'll speak about the auto theft. He'll speak for about a half hour, no questions, and after the half hour is over, then you can ask your questions. And then we'll go to Officer Stallings. Okay? Sit back and please enjoy. Thank you very much.
My name is Dave Fulderauer. I'm a lieutenant. This is my 29th year with the Baltimore County Police Department. And I've actually just taken over the Baltimore Regional Auto Theft Task Force back in March. That's also called RAT. So if you ever hear anybody talk about RAT, that's who they're talking about. That's the acronym for that. Prior to taking that over, I was the Investigative Services Commander at Pikesville Precinct. So I've been since the day we opened Pikesville in 2006, Pikesville's been my home away from home. Matter of fact, when I first got promoted in '93, I came to Garrison Station. I had the Pikesville squad. So I've been in this community for a little over 21 years. And normally, it'd probably be one of the detectives that would come out here instead of me, but again, this is my home away from home, so I felt like I should come out and give this presentation myself. I guess first I'm going to get into, I'm getting a little closer to the microphone, just some of the trends that we have going on and then things that you guys can do to prevent that. Right now, you got three types of auto thefts. You have your professionals that are looking for specific types of cars. It may not be your high-end cars. It may not be your Mercedes and your BMWs. It could be anything that is needed. A lot of these things go overseas. They may want a Ford pickup truck. And so your professionals will go out and they'll target and try to find a particular Ford pickup truck, particular color, particular year if they can do it. And they'll take that thing, pack it up, send it overseas, send it up to Canada. So those are your professionals. You also have your opportunists. You leave your car running, you go into the 7-Eleven, and you come out and your car's gone. It's somebody that didn't wake up that morning they were going to be an auto thief. They just saw the car, it was running. It was easy, so they went in. And then lastly, you have your group they're out for no good. Maybe it's not their intent to steal a car. A lot of times what happens that we're getting is they're going into neighborhoods to steal from cars, looking for computers, looking for iPods, looking for different items just by walking around trying door handles. And ultimately, what do they find in there? They find a key to the car. And so those, we see an increase there. Right now, in the city and the county, we are having about a 10% increase in auto thefts over last year, just this time last year. Now, some of that, there's two reasons for that. One, last year we actually had such an incredibly low number of auto thefts that where this year's statistics were actually on par with the year before last. But we were low last year, so we should continue to be low. So that's not an excuse, I'm just giving you the math on that. The other thing with the winter that we had a huge increase in what we'll call jump-in thefts. Everybody goes out, you want to warm your car up, you want to clean your car up, you leave the car running, and you come back out and your car's gone. And so that's part opportunistic, and that's part of the group that is coming out just looking. They know that people are going to leave their cars running. It's because it's a snowy morning and they come and they take the car. And they don't want to be cold walking down the street, so they come and find a warm way to get down the street. So those are the things that we have going on there. My group in the Auto Theft Task Force, we've got two parts. We got an investigative side, and then we have a street squad side. The investigative side looks for the trends. They try to figure out, get ahead of the trends, figure out who's doing that. A lot of times in particular areas, there'll be particular brands of cars that are being taken. Once we develop a pattern, they look for that, and we try to recover those. They go out, they get fingerprints off the cars once we recover them, and then we try to make arrests that way. They'll also look into body shops that may be stealing cars for parts, things like that. So that's their side. The other side, the sexier side of the unit, is the street squad. They've got undercover cars. They spend a majority of their time in the city, going to the different districts in the city. They've got tag readers on their cars, which will read license plates instantaneously. They can do thousands, in a couple of minutes as they're riding by. And they'll run those, the tag readers a little more? Okay. Yeah, it's a system where there's 2 sets of cameras that are hooked to a computer. The cameras will go by. It's all digital, so it's very fast. It'll read a license plate, send it into the system, and determine whether the car is stolen or not. Some of the technology now is even gotten better, where it doesn't just check the tag for stolen. It'll now check the tag, run the registered owner of the tag to see if there's any warrants on file, or is their driver's license suspended. And it'll go even further, that if that car has been associated with a crime, and maybe it's not wanted per se, but that'll pop up too. So technology is really becoming a friend to us as far as that, making the volume of tags a lot easier. Because in the old days, it was your list of tags and cars that were stolen, and you put them in order, and you try to go out and look and try to find them that way. We're not the only ones that have that. The city police and then the county patrol also have these tag readers. Our chief in Baltimore County would love to have one on every car if that was possible. You may see in the press there's a lot of things going on right now as far as these tag readers holding on to the data. Is it an invasion of privacy? Because we do know where you were 6 months ago if you happen to be picked up by a tag reader, at least where that car is. As far as the privacy rights, I'm not concerned with that. I just need one thing. I don't need the data from 6 months ago. I need that instantaneous, is that stolen or not? So I don't think, with everything going on in the press and the courts right now in relation to these license plate readers, that'll affect us. I think that capability will always be there. Is it stolen? Isn't it stolen? If it's stolen, we'll stop it and we'll make an arrest. So these guys and a couple gals go out. They're in cars you wouldn't even realize. We use rental cars so that they have different tags. They don't look like police cars at all. And they go out and they just look for auto thieves, and they're very good at it. And so it's, as long as you're not driving a stolen car, it's nothing you guys have to worry about. So
if somebody was driving, they would spot that stolen car, what would they do?
Obviously, coordinate that point. Our second best friend is the helicopter. That's the helicopter constantly monitors the auto theft channel. We have a dedicated channel on our radio. Want to know where we are, and they're there. And obviously, the least intrusive way that we can take off an auto thief, the better. But we do have some tactics that we practice. There's a school that everybody has to go through, and if it's a stolen car, we'll go bumper to bumper to squeeze them in so that they can't get away and hurt anybody in that car. So the biggest thing, we don't get into chases. There's no lights and sirens on any of these cars. We just, if they get away, they get away. But it's hard to outrun that helicopter. So, was that no shooting out tires? That's just in the movies. So that's the multiple sides there. So obviously the things that you guys and gals can do in here, I was joking earlier about locking your doors, but I'm serious about that. One of the biggest things that happens, car doors are left unlocked. In Pikesville, in dealing with the thefts from autos, when these kids, criminals, sometimes they're adults, sometimes they're kids, but they'll come up and all they do is they just walk your neighborhood and they pull on your car doors. If the car door opens, they go in, they'll take the change, they'll take everything else that's in there. And the other thing, the valet key that they give you when you buy a new car is meant for the valet. So that stays in your house until it's time to go to dinner, and then you take the valet key with you. Don't leave it in your car, because they'll take it, and sometimes they'll come back later and take your car, or they'll take your car right there. Extra car keys don't go in the glove compartment, just things like that, common sense things. And then the other thing you can do is valuables. When a lot of these thefts that happen, and these are the big ones that you guys can prevent, you don't want to have the purse in the car. You don't want to have the computer in the car. The laptop is there. Just anything, a GPS laying on the seat. It's very quick to break a window, grab their things and go. And, you know, in the middle of the night, you won't even hear them, but this will happen in the daytime, you know, right up at the, you know, at Woodholm Shopping Center. You know, we've had these things. They're very quick. It happens very quick. I'm not making any money off a club, but if you decide to buy a club, a purchase club, it's a great deterrent. There are ways to defeat a club. They can cut the steering wheel, they can do that, but 9 times out of 10,